Hey, I want you to know I am launching a series of infographic presentations September to June this year because I share your concern about child and youth mental health. In fact, child and youth mental health is the challenge of our time, and we know this because there are increasingly more kids at younger and younger ages with anxiety, chronic misbehavior, depression, obesity, and developmental vulnerabilities affecting learning, friendships, and emotional stability. Yes, adults are struggling too, so I invite you to take a deep dive with me over this upcoming school year to learn so much more about emotional wellness and emotional development. And also consider this. Teachers have always had the burden of responsibility to explain to parents why and how things are not working for their child at school. So wouldn't it be great to understand emotions better and be able to explain how normal struggles can become chronic problems? And even better, to have all the adults in charge on the same page to maximize the emotional development of all kids. I am Devon Wolfe of WolfeWisdom.ca. I draw on my knowledge and experience working with thousands of families in dozens of schools over the years as a special education teacher, a school administrator, and school psychologist to teach an emotion-focused approach. And this emotion-focused approach is the most up-to-date and comprehensive framework of relationships, development, and emotions. Those are the three essential dynamic working parts of emotional development. I use an attachment framework to make sense of the latest research on trauma, emotion regulation, social emotional learning, brain science, sensory sensitivities, and self-identity formation. But I translate all of this research into everyday ideas to bridge the gap between research and practice. I can share my go-to sources so you can ask your own deep questions and learn more by reading. Yet I want you to know that I continue to join online conferences conducted by the most current exceptional experts whose research and thinking is highly applicable to child and teen mental health. So this is how you benefit from my experience and all the resources that I tap into. These are condensed into a framework. So you get to cut through the glut of information out there, and you get to bypass harmful, outdated behavior assumptions, which are often presented with logic and conviction by authorities, but do not support emotional wellness and development. You get to avoid a tips and tricks attitude, which can be very appealing when adults are highly frustrated with kids. But tips and tricks can backfire if there are unmet relational, developmental, or emotional needs with this particular child or teen. With mental health, we can't just try things because good intentions are not enough. Even good teaching of social emotional skills can be ineffective because remember, this is about development and not just learning. Many kids, learn social skills, but they are too reactive under stress to use the right social skill when it's needed the most. With mental health, we must take a long-term view for children to develop a healthy sense of safety, connection, and identity to then become productive teens and young adults, and ultimately emotionally healthy adults able to build their own safe networks of connection and be accountable for responsible choices. A favorite part of Wolfe Wisdom materials for me are the infographics. I use colorful visual infographics for memory stickiness because I want you to become comfortable with the attachment framework and foundational concepts that I teach. So comfortable, in fact, that you can teach parents or your colleagues about emotional development, and then everyone grows their confidence to know what to do and be on the same page. Infographics tap into our strength for visual learning and are highly effective with groups because we can all see what we're talking about. And we can zoom in to examine details or zoom back out for the big picture. And then discussion becomes its own learning tool to hear how others think and feel about the concepts we're covering. This welcomes all modalities and ways of knowing and to learning. So just to summarize, Wolfe Wisdom teaches a framework for understanding emotional development and how to meet the relational, developmental, and emotional needs of all kids as they grow and change. And Wolfe Wisdom uses visual infographics for memory stickiness. These are easily accessible to, to see the essential concepts, which could otherwise be buried in text and require too much time spent reading. And Wolfe Wisdom has a big goal of all adults being on the same page to support child and teen emotional wellness and development, because kids need all of us for their mental health. So I hope you'll join me every week on Facebook or LinkedIn as I vlog and deep dive using a new infographic every month of this school year. You can check out my website, WolfeWisdom.ca, and that's Wolfe spelled with an E on the end. I am all about child and teen emotional wellness and development. Emotional development, I love this topic.